I can't believe I have a podcast. I feel so cool saying my podcast. I decided to take a lot of these live streams that I've done and the live streams that I'm doing going forward to put them up on a podcast. One, because who doesn't like podcasts? And two, because I have so much good content, and I don't even say that to like toot my own horn, but I just have so many great moments where I've captured my thoughts, whether they be on a live audio event or on a live stream from the past. And I really want to have them in a place where women can come and not only get style advice, although it will be sprinkled in, but also get that extra jolt, that cup of coffee, shot of espresso you need to just get through your week. I talk about things in a very spicy way. This is who I am. The way that I'm showing up on these lives is who I am. And it's funny because I've looked back at some lives and just listened to them myself while working or editing, and it almost felt like listening to a podcast. So I was like, why don't I just make this a thing? So yeah, outfit of the day, I am wearing a gorgeous white dress. It is linen. It is very hot. It is 90 degrees here in Trinidad and Tobago, where I'm located right now. And I'm wearing these gorgeous flower earrings. They're orange and green, that I got from a locally owned, local to Rochester, New York, owned jeweler. She creates jewelry. It is an Asian American Pacific Islander owned brand. I will tag it in the show notes. They're so cute. And I have on my cat eye glasses because I stare at screens a lot and my eyes are starting to pay for that. So in today's topic, what I'm talking about is likable versus powerful and why we get dressed. It actually hit me. I had a dream about it last night. That sounds so hippy dippy. I know. I understand. But I had a dream about it. Literally woke up this morning and I was like, that's what we're talking about today. Honestly, all my best work comes from me like waking up, morning up and being like, wow. Well, my best work as it relates to podcasts and live streams, not other things. That would be insane. But when it comes to like, what am I going to talk about on this Friday's live stream? It usually comes to me morning up and I just like pour out the notes while I'm in bed before I've even like brushed my teeth and get it all out. And today what came to me was like, do you want to be liked or do you want to be powerful? And I think that that's really the first step for women in any industry, but especially my brilliant women in STEM, is coming to terms with the fact that I might not be the most liked person, and that's okay. Let's say that one more time. I might not, repeat after me, I might not be the most liked person, but that's okay. And today I want to talk about why. So just to start off, I said likable or powerful. Let's define the both of those things, all right? What does it mean to be likable? Well, to be likable means to be generally accepted. It means to be, pleasing for other people. Let's get our dictionary definition up. To be likable means, according to Merriam-Webster dictionary, to be likable means to be pleasant, friendly, and easy to like. And to make things even more funny, the actual example given here from Oxford is a very likable young woman. Whew. I, in the last 2 years, have had to come to terms with being a likable young woman. And I'm sure I am not the only one who's been introduced to this revelation, or maybe you're currently going through this revelation. If so, I'm so glad you're here. I want to tell you a little story. And I'm sure you, as a brilliant woman, especially if you're in STEM, law, business, whatever, finance, you name it. In class, my report card always said in class, when I was from kindergarten to grade 12, always said, a pleasure to have in class. A pleasure to have in class. That would be across the board, from math to art class. That would be what any teacher said, regardless of my grade. I don't know if they all just came together and said, Kyla's just a pleasure to have in class amongst all of each other. Or maybe it was the fact that I was being socialized, as most likable young women are, to be pleasant, pleasurable, liked by most, easy to like. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a pleasure to have in class. I mean, I genuinely was. I was helpful. I raised my hand. I participated. I tried my best to get my homework in on time. I stayed after school to ask questions, all those things. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. However, it can't be it's kind of sad when we get to the point where no one on my report card was saying, wow, Kyla is brilliant. Kyla should really be placed in an AP class. I had to advocate for myself for that to happen. No one said, Kyla, I wonder how things are going for her at home. Everything was just, hey, she's a pleasure to be around. Very likable girl. Very likable young woman. Simply because I didn't rock the boat. And I mean, in a classroom, maybe that's not the purpose. But rocking the boat is actually a very, very important skill for a woman to learn how to become powerful. Now, how does this relate back to style? Well, style isn't for people pleasing. There are people who are going to see your outfit and they're going to absolutely love it. Yeah, obviously. But it's not about the people pleasing. It's about getting ahead. It's about power. It's about respect. There is a famous quote, I'm sure you've heard it. You don't have to like me, but you need to respect me. And that is something that I've had to learn in my own life. I care far more about being respected than I do about being liked at this point in life. And brilliant woman, I want to tell you why that's what you need to do as well. Being likable is not the goal. Being likable doesn't mean being paid. Being likable doesn't mean being promoted. I mean, someone might promote you because they like you, but that's not really what we're going for here. Being likable isn't going to get you on stage. It's not going to ask you to be interviewed for a speaking engagement. It is not going to be published online or in a book. Being likable is not going to help you with what you need to do. Seldom do well-behaved, insert likable women create history. Likability for your personal brand is good around the fact that, of course, you don't necessarily want to be seen as a person who lacks empathy, compassion, general positive human traits. However, being liked is a lot like being nice. Being nice and being kind are not the same thing. Being likable and being a human being with positive traits are not the same thing. Likability is a changing thing. Likability is going to depend on who your audience is. And at the end of the day, you cannot be liked by everyone. So when it comes down to how much likability matters for your brand, it really actually doesn't. Many times, remaining likable, in order to remain likable, you need to stick to a status quo of some sort. And that is the antithesis of being respected, claiming your power, actually showing up in the way that you need to show up to be noticed. It's the antithesis of style. Style is not everybody's cup of tea. And here's what I mean when I say this. You're going to join in a beautiful container with me where we're going to sit down. Maybe you're working with me one-on-one in a style discovery, or you're in my group coaching program, Brilliant Woman, Brilliant Closet, or maybe you just enrolled in my online course, Flatter Your Body or Transform Your Closet. After all this is done, you have now transformed your style. And by transforming your style, you've shifted who you are and who you're being and how you're showing up. And sometimes that shift that you're going to make is going to make other people shift in their seats. Some people are going to be triggered by you being visible, by you leveling up, by you just generally having a whole change in your aura, because you get up in the morning feeling calm, cool, and collected. You actually dress in a way that helps you feel confident wherever you show up. You're now not so afraid to be seen because you like how you are being seen, and you are the one controlling how you're being perceived by getting dressed stylishly. All of that is now shifting who you're being in work, in play, in love. And that is going to make some, not everybody, certainly not everybody, but it will make some uncomfortable. And maybe simply because of their own internal triggers, feeling uncomfortable means that there's going to be a part of them, if not all of them, that does not like you. And maybe they liked you better or how you were before because they felt more comfortable with that, because the status quo was being maintained. That is something you have to consider when you're thinking about getting dressed. Are you getting dressed to be likable, or are you getting dressed to be powerful? Let's shift that language. Are you showing up to be likable, or are you showing up to be powerful? What does that look like for you? Does brilliant style make you more approachable? Generally speaking, no. No, it does not. It does make you a sight for sore eyes. It definitely has you show up in a way where people will make compliments and people still will approach you. But the goal isn't changing your style to become more approachable unless that is a genuine part of the personal brand you're trying to create. And that can very well be done with style. But brilliant style alone is not about being more approachable. There are going to be people who feel like, hey, maybe you're not relatable anymore because you've changed. Relate this to maybe somebody who is deciding that, hey, I think I'm done drinking. I'm actually right now in a phase where I'm not really drinking right now. It's not that I'm done forever, but anything from like a beer to a glass of wine, I'm just like not feeling it, and I'm not drinking right now. Now, that might make it for some where they just say, hey, whatever, she's not drinking right now. Maybe they've stopped drinking for a period as well, or maybe, they just genuinely don't care. I'm not stopping them from drinking. But there are going to be other people who feel triggered when I'm around them. When I say, oh, no, thank you. I'll have a Coke instead. I'll have a lemonade instead. That might make someone uncomfortable. They actually might feel this like need to kind of pressure me or coerce me into drinking when I'm like, no, I'm good. Being seen as unapproachable to that person now because I'm no longer relatable to them in the way that they felt they needed to relate to me is not something that should be stopping me from making that change anyway, for my health and my body, for my mental health, for the simple fact that I just don't want to. I can't let that get in the way, saying, hey, so-and-so might not like me if I'm not a little inebriated with them. That is not going to be the thing that stops me from stepping into my power and saying that, hey, this is something I do not want at this time. And I have the right to say that, and I have the right to stand in that comfortably in this moment. And I don't have to feel uncomfortable because somebody else is choosing to, because let's be honest, they are choosing to. So changing your style and stepping into brilliant style may not make you the most likable. No. And that's actually a really great thing. That's perfectly fine and perfectly okay. Dressing down to make other people feel comfortable is never a good move. It's making yourself small so they can be comfortable with where they're choosing to be. It's like they're deciding that what I perceive as the ceiling must be everyone else's ceiling around me. Those are generally people who don't tend to be complacent, honestly. And I'm trying to find a very nice way to say this, but to be fully honest, there are probably parts of them that are a bit narcissistic as well, if we're being completely and totally honest. If they need everyone to meet them where they are at all times for them to feel comfortable and for them to give somebody else common respect and decency. Now that's much more of a red flag on their part than it is on you for choosing to actually dress with the confidence that you deserve to show up in every day, because you have a brilliant mind. You need to be showing up in places that in a way that says, hi, I'm brilliant. Come ask me a question. Let's have a conversation before you've even opened your mouth. You need to have that type of style that allows you to show up in power, the type of power that is magnetic, the type of power and magnetism that attracts the opportunities to you that you've already worked to deserve. You're not just getting these things because, they just like how she's dressed. No. But you're showing up in a way that sparks curiosity and shows creativity and shows that you are thinking in innovative ways, and shows that you have a leadership quality to you, whether you're extroverted or introverted, whether you're street smart or book smart, it doesn't matter. You're showing up with something to say before you even opened your mouth. And when you do, let the brilliance just fall right out. The only way to do that is to allow for growth to happen. And growth does not happen in the likability zone. It does not. Growth happens when you step into your power. So when we get dressed, we're getting dressed for power, growth, magnetism, attraction. Always remember that. Every time you wake up in the morning and just get dressed, you are choosing which type of power you'd like to stand in that day. And if anybody asks you what you're so dressed up for, tell them life. Tell them you like it. It works for you. And quite honestly, they are probably themselves just curious and interested. And if you do feel like there's going to be this shift in your life where people aren't going to like you anymore, well, I want you to really take stock of who those people are. And then I want you to take stock of who is going to like to see you in your power. Okay? So that's all I have for you today. But I really want to see you all step in your power with style. And if you are ready to do so, hurry, hurry, hurry. The doors are closing fast for Brilliant Woman, Brilliant Closet. We are getting started October 2nd. I cannot believe I'm saying October. I cannot believe September is coming to a close. You have a few more days left to get into Brilliant Woman, Brilliant Closet. That is a group intensive where you, me, and 9 other brilliant women in STEM are going to discover what your true authentic style is, how you should show up in it every day by creating systems and rituals and routines and processes for yourself. And then we're going to give you the tools you need to build your confidence to actually show up in that style. You can sit with me one-on-one and we can go through your style together as well, if that's something you're interested in. But I highly suggest sitting in the community group. There's just something so beautiful about women coming together and deciding to make a change together, deciding to step into their power together and having each other's backs through that. I mean, it's just so beautiful, and I really would love to see you there. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to me. It's Kyla, ITS, Kyla, not Kayla, across LinkedIn, Instagram, and you can also send me an email at Kyla, Kyla, at itskylanotKayla.com if you would like to get into that group program. But hurry, the doors are closing fast. I'm so excited to get started with my people. You know I love that. And until next time, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.